Live from Break Free Worldwide headquarters in Houston, Texas. With your host, Jeremy. And B-Boy Moy. And joining us tonight,
yo, what up, world?
Welcome
back to Break Free Worldwide Podcast.
That's right, that's right.
It's good to be back.
It is.
My name is Jeremy, y'all.
My name is Moy.
Yes. And tonight, we come back with a very, very special guest.
Very special.
Yes, we just met this guy like yesterday.
Yeah, I feel like this guy just walked into our lives and just took over.
Yeah, like a romance novel.
Yeah,
like a romance novel.
Took over.
Yeah, we should actually write a romance novel. Yeah, he probably does. We could put that in the romance novel that we write.
We'll just talk about that later.
He rode in on horseback in Sunset, right?
No, that was a different guy.
Well, this guy, originally hailing from New York, he lives in Houston now.
NYC.
Super talented young individual. Some people, what he does, his craft, his art form, some people consider it the fifth element of hip-hop, beatboxing. Super talented at what he does, and keep tuning in because he's going to kick a freestyle, beat style. What's the word for it? Beatbox style?
It doesn't even matter, man.
Yes, sir.
But introducing special guest tonight, Spencer X.
Yes, sir.
What is good, man?
Right, good to be here.
Yes, sir.
How you feeling?
Welcome.
Feeling great, feeling
Yes, sir.
happy, feeling blessed. Thank you for having me.
You already know.
Man.
Do I sit here? Is it?
Yeah, you can sit.
You can sit anywhere,
You
bro.
can scoot in. You can scoot in.
Yeah, you can lay
Put on the
down.
headphones. You can do whatever you want, bro.
How you feeling?
Hear me a little bit better here. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling
Good,
amazing.
good, man.
I'm gonna wave hi to
You
all
look
the
great.
cameras. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
I look great because of y'all.
Ooh,
Listen.
showing that gear.
Ooh.
CYE lifestyle.
Ooh. Shout out
And
to
that Monster Energy.
Mm.
So what's good, man? You're just coming back from visiting your hometown, right?
Born and raised.
Born and raised Manhattan,
NYC.
New York City. I'm an Upper West Side kid. So, I visited the Rents. I had 2 shows out there. I did one. Shout-outs to B&H, one of my partners. Love y'all. I did a show for B&H, and then I also did a show for this a cappella group out at Yotel there. But it was called the Aka Party. So it was a lot of fun. A lot of
Yeah, I
good
saw you
times.
post a lot of pictures and video of that. You even there was a b-boy that got down with you. You sent me a clip,
Yeah,
right?
hey,
That's what's
Johnny. Shout-outs to Johnny.
Shout out to Johnny. Where are you, Johnny?
Johnny's great.
Johnny
Johnny,
Five.
Johnny rocks with a couple b-boys out in New York
Sick.
City, but he's a video creator, so was part of like the creative community
Dope.
there in New York
What's up,
City.
Though I think at first, I'm curious, a good first question is, you were kind of like thrust into this whole world of breaking like
Oh,
pretty
wow.
quickly, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm sure you know, being from New York, you've known about breaking all your life, and you growing up in hip hop, you've known about breaking, but like being a part of Break Free and then doing the monster shows, the retail hits, and being along with us, you kind of right in the dead center of the heart of the breaking underground scene in the world. So how does that feel? What's your reaction to it right away?
Kind of crazy.
Yeah, and
Crazy.
let's rewind that a little bit. Like, how did it all happen? Because Jeremy and I,
Yeah.
we kind of briefly joked about it,
Yeah.
but like
So-
you literally were brought to our attention by a good friend, Joel, who's part of our crew, but also does music. And I guess he ran across you at
His daughter's ballet.
some type of program
Yeah.
or something. And
Shout-outs to the Houston Sound Academy.
yeah, and then
His daughter's
the rest is
piano
history,
lessons,
right? The rest
piano.
is history, pretty much.
Wow, man, my
3 weeks ago, I'm guessing. Like
I
so
wanna-
much has happened in the past 3 weeks.
honestly, like it's a lifetime story if I were to actually say everything that kind of brought me here for it. But
Well, we got the time, homie.
no, it's true. You want to know? It's
All right,
crazy.
time's up.
I don't.
You weren't fast enough, bro.
It's funny. Hey, I see Oreo the cat. Hey, shout out to Oreo the cat.
Yeah, shout out
It's
to our
awesome.
live chat.
So, my experience with breaking actually started with me beginning beatboxing. So the first group that I was part of was called the Floor Royalty Crew, and it was out in New York City.
How old were you? Like,
I must have been like
Is this when you were chubby,
16.
Spencer?
Not yet. I didn't start eating a lot.
Husky?
If y'all know, I was like 180 at one point in my life.
that's nice,
So
healthy. It's nice, healthy weight.
Hey, it's all
Yeah,
good.
man.
We all have that story except for Jeremy.
I
Yeah.
ate, so I thought I was bulking, Don't do it.
That's
Forever book.
Don't
that's
do it,
everybody,
kids.
right?
But yeah, when I was 16, I was part of this crew. This b-boy, he was big into the hip hop culture in New York City. His name is Chief 69, and he was going throughout a lot of events. And I eventually met him at a performance that I was doing. And you know, like one thing led to another, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to be part of our b-boy crew?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I want to be your beatboxer." And they're like, "Yeah, we got a beatboxer." So I started traveling with them. I started doing a couple shows here and there, and that's honestly how I got integrated into like hip hop culture.
Yeah.
This went all the way into my college life, actually, and I rocked with them for a long time. I used to bring them out for shows there, and yeah, it's kind of funny that it all came back, like at this time in my life. I didn't expect it to, honestly.
Right.
But yeah, it's amazing. So I moved here about like 2.5 months ago, and I'm working with these.
Okay, so that's something I didn't know. So you just got here.
I just got here like 3 months ago. Yeah. It's
2.5, 3 months.
Yeah. Like literally, January, I think 10th was when I ended up moving here. But I've traveled to Houston about like 10 times before that.
Yeah.
I've had like a lot of trips here.
Right.
And yeah, so I just moved here. I'm a baby. I'm super fresh here, you know. But you know, I've stayed at like various parts of Houston, from uptown to downtown to midtown, like medical center and whatnot. I got a little feel for the culture.
Yeah.
And there's just a thriving creative community here.
For
There's
sure.
like a thriving, hustling community. And I didn't know that you guys were one of the largest cities in
I think they're
like,
third, right?
Yeah,
Third in the U.S.
It's crazy.
Behind no, I think Chicago
It's,
surpassed us. So
New
we're
York,
fourth now.
L.A.
We're fourth now.
Okay, New York, L.A., Chicago, Houston.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, yeah.
It's pretty cool.
What are the differences you see in culture between New York and Houston? Like the glaring things that jump out to you right away.
New York is definitely busier. It's really crazy
It's
there
fast.
for sure.
It's super fast.
Super fast. There's so many different types of languages, and it's a walk-centric place.
And I feel like everything's tighter. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, because you come to Houston,
It's
everything is
crazy.
so spread out,
Like
right?
traffic here is different, where like you'll have traffic on like the highway or something like that. But in New York, traffic could be a block
Yeah, anywhere.
or two.
Yeah.
Honestly, like to get like, you know, somewhere where you could walk and take like 10 minutes, on car it could take 20,
Yeah.
which is wild. So yeah, it's definitely a very walk-centric place. MTA's like, you know, the thing that runs everything there, so buses and trains.
That's the
Yeah,
life over
we
there,
have
man.
we have
That's
like
the
no
life.
public transit. Like we have our metro here,
I mean,
but
I take the bus sometimes.
Yeah, you know, we
but
have
it's
our-
nothing like New York.
It's definitely not as consistent, for
Yeah.
sure. So consistency is super like key there.
What about the people? What is the difference in people
right,
from
I
riding the
gotta settle
metro?
this. I gotta
Hold
settle
on,
this.
riding the metro here in Houston than to being on the subway in New York
Man.
City.
Okay.
H-Town, hold it down.
Let me say something. The people are, yeah, sure, you
Yeah,
can say
shout out
that people
to
are.
Meaner who's tuned in, and Logan.
Logan. Shout out Logan.
Hey, people think that everyone from New York are like angry and like short-tempered and, you know, crazy for the most part, but they don't take into account that most of the people that are in New York, oh, there's a camera right there. So most of the people that are in New York aren't actually from New York. There are a lot of tourists that are there at all times. I think like, I forgot what statistic it was, but it was like 200,000 like people new each day come into New York City and just like circulating. So I want to say a lot of people that you see like on transit, or a lot of people that you bump into, they could be short-tempered because they're not used to the you know, the cultural difference.
Yeah,
from
yeah.
So
where
you think
they're
it's a
from.
misconception?
Exactly, I do think so. A lot of the times too, because there's just new people every day. But I want to say, you know, for the most part, Southern hospitality is a real thing. There's just good vibes here, like in general. I haven't met like, you know, anyone that's, you know, knock on wood,
You haven't went through the hood yet.
We're taking the Magnolia.
We're gonna drop you off
I've
where I
taken the
grew up.
bus a little late, and it's been kind of crazy, but nothing like out of control.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, it's pretty chill. I think that's one thing about Houston too. I mean, but it's so spread out that you know, there's things happening. Let's just say there's like violence and there's things happening here too. But it's so spread out that it's not like just this area. It's just like it's everywhere, but it's almost hidden in a sense.
Yeah.
Where in New York or places like Chicago, where the cities are a lot tighter, like there's so much happening in this one little area.
I think the
around
word,
the block, someone's
exactly.
like getting
I think
punched in
the
the
correct
face.
word is like bustling. Like New York's a bustling
Yeah.
city, and in
Very much
Houston,
so.
like even in the downtown area in Houston, it's very rare to see like movement just from all angles. You know, like you would see
It's
in New
definitely
York.
never quiet there.
Yeah.
No matter where you are in New York, you don't have any privacy for the most part. But
Why
here,
does everyone yell in New York? Everyone's always
It's
yelling.
so loud.
Everyone's always rude.
guys, I'm not loud because I'm from New York. Right? So, but I do think that like it's very loud there. There's a lot more congestion for sure.
It's the Latinos for sure. Them Puerto Ricans, boy, they be going in.
They have their own neighborhood
out
too.
Boricuas.
Yeah.
Shout out to the PRs.
Yeah.
Upper East Side. Shout out. I used to live there too.
Oh,
So
snap.
we're
Okay.
particularly in Manhattan.
Upper West Side. So I was born in Manhattan near Lincoln Center, and then
dope.
I moved to Queens when I was a kid. Then I was off Broadway for a little bit with my parents. We were just like going back and forth. My mom and my dad literally saved up every penny they could to move into the city. We lived with my mom's brothers and sisters for a little bit when I was a kid, for about like 3 years.
Okay.
For them to save up, and then they saved up money, and my mom works for the Board of Education, by the way. My dad is a
Really
tennis
dope.
coach, so they
Very
you
cool.
know, they saved up for a little bit, and then we moved off Broadway. They saved up some more, sold their place, and we're on the Upper West Side.
Nice.
Cool, man.
But yeah, that's where I'm from. It's a little quieter up there than most places, but it's still crazy.
So
It's still wild.
let's talk about what we initially started talking about like your move to Houston and then your connection to us, and kind of
been
just
wild.
diving into this whole world of hip hop and like really getting into it, because you know you're a beatboxer. Yeah, you've been doing it, but I think this might have been one of the quickest connections to like the hip hop world that has allowed you to do so much in such little time.
Oh my
You know what I
God.
mean?
It's been crazy. I didn't expect for it to happen so fast.
Right.
But it's funny because I believe in the law of attraction. I believe in like, you know, whatever energy you put out is energy that you're going to get. And I've just been saying to myself, like, 2019, like, it's going to happen. I'm going to meet people. I'm going to do things. I'm going to, like, you know, I'm going to meet with core people that are going to be like part of my life. And like, I know that we're gonna form like a family.
Yeah, like relationships are going to align themselves.
And I've been wanting that, and it didn't like connect in my head like that could happen like next week or something like that. So yeah, I moved to Houston. I've been in New York City like forever, like all my life. I moved in with my girlfriend. Her name's Jenna Lynn. Shout out to Jenna.
Shout out to Jenna.
Shout out, Beck.
And yeah, I started working with this producer. Shout out to Steve-O. Shout out to Mario. Houston Sound Academy. It's lit. And I started working with them on project, a couple of them, and the more I went there, the more that I saw, like, you know, the main thing that I try and instill wherever I go, and it's something that's hit me within the last year, is building community. So I think that's the strongest foundation for, you know, whatever company you have, or whatever, like, you know, social brand you have, is like, you know, the people that are, you know, following you, the people that are fucking with you, like, what are they following for? Like, how loyal are they? Like, what is it exactly that they're here for? You know? So
that's very true, man.
something I've been trying to do is just, like, you know, connect with people more and be more open to any type of connection that may happen. Because although I've been, like, you know, at this for a long time, like, I don't know, like, you know, what's the path ahead of me just yet, you know? Like, and how something can happen, like, it isn't really up to me for the most part. So I just kind of, like, came here with open mind, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just work. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna put out as much as I can. I'm gonna connect with whoever I can. Because who am I? I'm nobody. You know, I don't have anybody here. I know I have a couple friends that are like, you know, in Austin that have been to Houston that have done stuff before, and some people from like, you know, like a little out of state and whatnot, and I know some people here that have connected me with some people for sure. But I knew that the main value that I was going to have to bring is really going out to places and meeting people. So yeah, I went to the Houston Sound Academy. I met Joel, and we kind of just clicked because of the camera he was using, actually. So he was using a Sony Alpha A7R3, which is like...
Is that English?
He started as
Sony-
He's beatboxing.
Not everything is beatbox. But I've been using Sony Alpha for like a little bit. I was using Canon at the time. Now I'm back to Sony Alpha, everyone. But I recognized the camera, and I'm like, yo, like that's a dope camera. And we just linked for like a second.
Yeah.
And then I talked to him a little bit about what I was doing, and he talked to me a little bit about what he was doing. And I'm gonna be honest, at first I was like a little skeptical. He's like, break free, like we're hip hop school, monster energy. And like I'm very protective about like my energy, like super protective about like who I work with and what I do. Cause like I know that whatever I put my time
Well, you
into,
work hard for who you are, your image, and everything that you do. Not just your image, but everything. You work hard for it, so you have to be overprotective.
I know that I can't invest in anything unless I put 1,000% in.
Yeah.
So immediately I was just like, all right, let me take some time. He sent me some stuff. I did my research, and I'm like, wow, what amazed me about Break Free was like you guys are building community here. You guys are building community, and like more so like you are expanding. Yeah. You're expanding like outside of like the norm of like what people like expect from b-boying, what people expect from hip hop, and like who else knows of a hip hop school? Let's be honest. Like you know, it's a very new thing in culture, and you guys have been like really successful within it. So I took a chance, and I'm like, all right, like he's like you know, someone's gonna call you in the next day, and like b-boy Moy, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do it. And I looked at like your stuff, and I'm like, all right, these guys are legit. Like, let me talk to him, because I can't know about anything unless I speak to someone. And then I could like know about their goals, I can know about their priorities, I can know what they want to do. And I'm the type of person that like I won't sleep. I won't like do anything other than like, you know, what I need to do and for the people around me. Right. 100%. Yeah. So we talked on the phone. It was like maybe like a 30-minute conversation. Yeah. And it opened my mind. It like I was like, oh, this guy gets it. Yeah. He understands like, you know, the amount of work that you have to put in here, what you have to do here, like and it was just a life-changing experience. I didn't expect it to happen so fast and for it to like be something like, you know, that crazy for sure.
Well, I think that and Jeremy can talk about this too, but you know, we at Break Free have kind of built a culture of, you know, discipline, hard work, commitment, loyalty, on all of the above. You could the list goes on, you know, and we've really worked so hard on that because we've been burnt by people, because we know the struggles and the obstacles that it takes to get through to become successful. You know what I mean? You know, we're talking about Break Free Hip Hop School expanding and opening up more locations, but you know, at one point it was me and Jeremy doing every single job role that this company had to accomplish on a daily basis. And we did that for years.
We're not that good at mopping and sweeping.
Yeah. So, you know, it's something that it's what we know. And I remember when Joel told me about you, and then we looked you up, and I was like, wow, this is cool. You know, this guy, not only does he have a strong following in what he does, because you know, to be honest, the following is kind of the easy seller, because people love you. When people love you, whether you're a jerk or not, it's like you're doing something.
And shout outs to my live. I love all y'all.
Shout out Oreo Cat.
When you're doing something and people love it, I mean, there's an attraction there, right? So I was like, okay, this guy's dope. Just the kind of like what you saw when you saw us, and you're like, oh, okay, these guys they have a decent following. Oh, they're good at what they do. All right, now let's connect.
And you put out every day, and that's super important to me. Yeah. That's something that kind of like, you know, is honestly a very attractive factor in like whoever you're working with. Is social media is a job, you know, like brand is a job, you know, and if what are you doing if you're not showing up to your job every day for the most part? And it doesn't have to be like every single second of like, every single thing, but it is. Oh, shout outs to Oreo the cat. Aww. I love you, Oreo.
Cat's going in.
Oh, Oreo the cat's going in. I love Oreo.
No, but what I was going to say too, along those lines, is that when I spoke with you on the phone, I knew it was a dope and positive connection. Like I felt it, I felt it, and I think that we've established in just a little bit amount of time something really special, because we normally work with
like
b-boys and DJs, so. You immediately offered something unique. It was a unique skill set that we don't have around us every day. Yet we know people who do it, but at the same time, it's like this could potentially be around us every single day. It could benefit us as well as benefit yourself, and I think that's already paid off.
Thanks, man. I'm learning so much just being here.
Yeah, I think that partnership has already paid off, and I think that. Just like you said earlier, as you were mentioning, you have to be open about the relationships that you kind of connect to. And that's something that I had to learn the hard way, too, because, in business, when you say open, to benefit or open to these relationships to where it's good for both sides, that's basically a strategic partnership, right? This partnership has to be beneficial for the both of us.
On trust.
So, yeah, and then it's just like, yeah, you got me, I got you. That's one thing, but... it's worked out so far, so immediately, like I literally, I spoke to you, you came into the office like 3 days later,
That's crazy.
You came on board to our family, and then 3 days after that, you hit the road with us.
I was going to go to New York that day.
Yeah.
I was traveling to New York, and I was like, nah. And I ended up scheduling my flight for like 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later, yeah.
And then you hit me up, you're like, it's today. And I'm like, all right, like I'm down, like let's go, let's do it.
So we went to Atlanta, right?
We went to Atlanta, back to Houston, then we went to LA, and it was an amazing time. Shout outs to Monster for having us.
And then Monster's
oh my God,
another thing,
so crazy.
So a lot has happened in the past few weeks, but
absolutely. But you know what, and to see that this is just the foundation, that this is just like scratching the surface, that we're not anywhere like, near like, anything like right now is the amazing thing about it. Like level one, it's like a video game almost.
Yeah. And
to get to that first level, that journey of breaking free, is pretty much like what all of this is about. Like that's what makes all of this, worthwhile.
Yeah.
So I'm super happy to be part of the family. I'm super happy to be part of the culture, and yeah, that first day was wild. I remember speaking to you on the phone, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna speak really open, really good, and just gonna lay out every single thing that like I can possibly say in this conversation.
Yeah.
And it turned out like what I look for in people in general is positivity, for sure. And then again, something that you mentioned before, loyalty, like trust is the biggest thing. Whatever you can do, like you are your word.
Yeah.
And so like
I'm really big on that.
It's one thing to say something, but to prove something. You don't have to be the most talented human being on earth. You don't need to do that. But if you are consistent and you show up and you're able to work at a high level, or whatever level that you like want to work at
your highest level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they want to achieve that every single time that they go out and do something. Like that's just a no-brainer.
That transparency is contagious.
Oh yeah, and it beats talent any day.
Any day.
Any day. You could be like, okay, you could be like a 5, but like you're consistent.
Yeah.
And you're putting out and you're connecting with people and you're going out and you're doing things and you're loyal to the people that support you. Like you're gonna win, no matter what.
For sure.
If you happen to have talents that, like actually I think you said it on the phone. You're like, that's the icing on the cake. That's like the sprinkles to it all.
Yeah.
And I'm blessed to be around people that understand positivity and that understand loyalty and trust.
For sure.
It's the biggest thing.
Yeah. I think in regards to, I like what you said about, or he said about it, all those qualities being the icing on the cake. So it's like, you look at the base of the relationship between a beatboxer and a dancer. It's like a natural pairing. And then everything else, all these core priorities, everything you align value-wise, honor-wise, the
it's like
work
I'm
that you put in.
With my mouth.
Yeah, well, dancers dance to music, and you're making music. So you can use an example. You paired up with logistics, another person, a part of the Break Free family, and that was a dope video. And you were just sharing some other projects that you might be doing with dancers soon. And I think that's
my God, yeah.
So I think this can be wrapped up by saying the natural pairing between a beatboxer and a dancer. That's what the attraction brought it together, and then it was sewed up by you having your core values and priorities aligned with ours as well.
For sure.
And the mission and what we're trying to do and our goals. So that's what kind of solidified everything.
It kind of, and I believe it was like it was meant to happen this way. It was meant to be,
sure.
and things just kind of like went like this.
Yeah.
And then we go up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You want to hug me right now?
I want to hug you, man.
I want to ride the horse that you rode in.
Yeah, what's up with that horse parked outside, bro?
I just let it like run free. It's just like part of the world.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. It's on top of your car, man.
Yeah. It's a big horse.
So what? Let the people know what. Don't share the whole game plan and what you got in the future, but what do you got coming up? Something that you can announce. What are you looking forward to?
All right. So, I can announce this because I got the official yes to it a couple days ago, but I'm going to be performing as talent for TEDx in New York City. I think the date is June 22nd, and it's going to be at Hudson Yards.
Nice.
So I'm super excited to be part of this, and I'm super excited to do a TEDx event in my hometown of New York City.
So you'll be speaking. You have a whole presentation.
I'll be speaking.
Is your family allowed to attend?
I don't know, honestly.
It's always rough with those type
I,
of events, you know.
It's going to be like a very selective crowd from what I know.
Exactly.
And tickets can cost like a little bit of money. But I'm trying to see like what I'm able to do for the most part. I asked if I can bring like a photographer or something, and they're still talking to me about it. But I'd love to. I mean, if I could have y'all there, that'd be amazing.
That'd be cool.
So yeah, that's going to be coming up within the summer. I don't want to reveal it, but I am going to be connecting with, and I am talking about doing being on tour and doing a couple shows with a major artist that's just here in the United States. I'll give you some hints. They do country music, and it's really, really exciting.
Wild connection. You told me about this one, but that's cool, man.
I'm super excited because it's such a fundamentally like big thing within the culture of beatboxing. I do think that something that I want to do is I want to represent opportunity and possibilities for beatboxers. Sure. So what I try and instill at all times is like even though like maybe I'm not making like millions yet, like, and I'm not like just like touring the entire world. What's the journey of someone that is going to be doing those things? It's going to be about putting in the work every day. It's going to be about struggling every single day. So I mean that's a big thing with me. I look for the struggle every day. Like if I'm too comfortable in a situation, I know that I'm not doing enough. And if I see myself sitting on something for too long, I know that I'm not progressing. So I always try and keep active for the most part, and I know that I want to expand beatboxing culture, working with artists outside of just like hip hop is also something that I want to do. But also hip hop is like that's my bread and butter. I love hip hop, and
I was gonna say I just think that it just comes to a point to where everybody just needs a little hip hop.
That's true.
I'm just being real. It just adds so much more color to everything.
Shout out to Gary V. Hip hop runs the world. You already know. Like it's one of the main pillars of culture, and just like the storytelling, like the emotion behind hip hop. I can't believe it's so strong even to like say the word. It is something that moves generations, and so like building that. Bridging that gap between like age groups and cultures and languages, that's just something that I want to do. So I have the TEDx event coming up.
Possible tour with the
possible tour, and then I'm talking to a choreographer right now who's in LA. This is crazy. I kind of like announced a little bit. I like put it on my story, but I'm just gonna give like a super tiny little. Won't say everything, but his name's Matt. If you know, you know. But it might be. I'm thinking like a crazy collaboration. I'd love to see like some super choreo within like group and maybe even like single off like with beatboxing.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for those things.
That's dope, man.
And then break free, just like running around, you know, like changing the world. Breaking free.
Yeah. How was specifically the monster shows?
Oh man, they're so fun. We kind of just like winged it the first day, and like it turned out amazing. So like
yeah, because that was the first time we put you on the show. We're just,
it was
like,
amazing.
just go with the flow, you know.
Okay, so the first time
like, we have
everything
the
was
format
freestyle.
down, you know.
That it happened so fast. The format that we built, and now it's just like we kind of know like what works.
Yeah.
And whatnot. The first time I just got up on the mic and I started beatboxing. And it was cool, you know, got some crowd response, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
But then we like added some like, you know, acting into it. We like, you know, made it a whole like little set, like where you.
Well, I remember then you were on the mic. This is how it happened, like naturally. He was on the mic and he was beatboxing, and I'm like, yo, just keep going, just keep going. So I'm walking around and I'm like, yo, just keep going, and he kept going. I just started breaking. And then we just kind of slowly just started like switching dancers, and he kept switching. So every switch of a dancer, it was a beat
had
change.
their own beat.
Yeah. So
it was crazy. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, so pretty much the shows and me and Bruce have been kind of playing off. But yeah. So for the most part, like we do like, you know, a little presentation at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And then I go on, do my set, and then at the end of the set, like we come in with the dancers and the DJ at the same time. And yeah, it honestly, like I remember when it happened at first, like my eyes, I was like, is this really happening right now? 'Cause I didn't know what was going on. He just like started scratching, he started dancing, and I'm like, this is happening right now. This is crazy. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much how it went. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to developing these sets more.
For sure.
And yeah,
it can only get better.
I'm gonna do a backflip. Amazing.
Yeah, when are you gonna take some classes here at the center?
Not the advanced one. I sat in for the advanced class one time, and I was like, "Oh, this is
your class.
Actually advanced."
Yeah.
Cool.
Advanced.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, I didn't even know that it was like that.
Yeah, it's pretty
but
intense.
The memorization and like movement into other parts, and then, you know, I'm gonna work on my flair a little bit. Like, you know, I think I got what is it called? A baby freeze. Yeah, I got baby freeze going on there. It was pretty cool. Working on it. I work out like at least like I want to say like 4 or 5 times a week. So I'm trying to like build my strength in it. But I actually want to learn. I really want to learn how to break dance, and I want to learn some choreo within my beatboxing.
You're right here. You're at the spot.
You're at the place.
Let's do it.
It's cool, man.
So what do you think about dropping something today, right now, live on air?
Let's do it. Can I pick up this mic?
Yeah.
Or do I beatbox like you? Do I like serenade the desk?
You can serenade the desk.
I would put the headphones on. The
Jeremy.
headphones would be good.
Serenade whatever you want.
Yeah, can you make it based around love, like a love beatboxing set?
Yeah, I want you to look into Jeremy's eye.
Oh, all right.
Is that possible?
Yeah, totally. Just look. Like,
you can look
is one of your eyes?
Just one of my eyes. I like this.
Oh, it sounds like a rattlesnake.
Now, rattlesnake is.
Oh, okay.
Break free. Break free. Shout outs to whoever mixes this because it sounds dope. Break
MVP.
Free. Break free.
Sick. Killer. So now you know. If you didn't know,
if you don't know,
now you know.
I beatboxed once.
That's crazy.
But what's the total years you've been doing it? I'm curious as to.
I'm running on 11 right now.
Dope.
And the reason for why I know that is because people keep on asking me.
Yeah.
So now I know. I think it's 11.
And who's the first person that you saw beatboxing, or how did you get into it?
Man,
Because
that's crazy.
Because honestly,
He got bit by a radioactive beatboxer spider.
Just really,
Yeah, that was a story for sure.
Most beatboxers are used, they're producing, with their mouth, of course, but like hip hop beats and stuff like that. But you do a lot of like different, like you do like techno, funk, EDM.
I love
electro rock,
diversifying for sure. So when I first learned about beatboxing, it was my friend Scott Held in high school. He's not a beatboxer.
Mm-hmm.
He has nothing to do with beatboxing actually. But I was at tennis rehearsal. So my dad's a tennis coach, and he wanted me to be a tennis player. And so
Can you play tennis?
I could
Yeah,
I
you
could kick
dabble a
some
little
ass.
bit?
Yeah.
You kick some ass.
I was varsity. I was varsity in New
okay.
York. Yeah.
Okay.
We were actually number 1 in New York State. Not a lot of people know this, but I was part of that team. It was a lot of fun for sure.
That's cool.
But
He started from I'm alright to we were number 1.
I can dabble and then I kick some ass. Yeah,
I'm okay. I can't. I don't think I. I don't think I can. I can play like.
I can see. Yeah.
I saw him play live. That guy's amazing.
He's
course.
a beast.
Can I tell you something? Andre Agassi is my favorite tennis player.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. My dad knows this because he's been
Jordan
a Pete
of tennis.
Sampras fan forever, and
He's
Roger.
the man.
And I'm like, nah, Andre Agassi, smoke
Who?
everyone.
Roger? Which one was the other one?
Federer.
Roger
Federer.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
He's amazing.
But if we're gonna talk
Agassi, I think, is better.
all time,
Let's go back real quick. Let's go back to Scott Held.
So Scott Held, damn, you got a good memory. So Scott Held, he came up to me one day at tennis practice, and he was like, "Yo, man, I want to show you something really, really cool." And I'm like, "All right." I didn't see anything behind his hands, or I thought he was gonna play a trick on me or something. I'm like, "All right," because he's a funny guy. He's a really, really funny guy. Comes up to me, and he's like, "All right."
And he was doing that.
He did that.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yo, what is that? It's crazy!" Are you I think I asked him, are you a wizard? Is that magic? Because I never heard anything like that before. And I was a kid, and I thought I knew everything in the world because I was, oblivious to a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm like, I studied stuff, so I know. But, it turns out, I didn't know anything about beatboxing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that's amazing. And I ran home that night and I studied I looked up when I tell you I looked up every single video on YouTube, I mean my eyes, I was crying from watching so many YouTube videos. I watched every single thing from French beatboxers to Spanish, and I realized that all over the world there's different within their cultures there's different communities.
Yeah.
And I said that day I'm going to be a beatboxer. I started being a beatboxer. And my parents thought I was crazy for
Yeah, beatboxing.
8 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, because they never heard of it. My mom's Chinese, and she was like, "What? Okay, doctor, right?"
Yeah.
And then my dad's like, "Tennis," and I'm like, "Beatbox."
Yeah.
So for the most part, it was a little bit of a culture shock for them. They was like, "What is this hip hop thing that I'm getting into?" And I started just connecting with people all over the world through YouTube. Actually, is what started everything. I just started making videos in my living room, in my kitchen, in my room. I remember taping my phone to books and stuff like that, and
That's crazy.
it's weird. I mean, people will say it's weird, but I just wanted to express myself, and I wanted to get out there.
Yeah.
And I didn't know a way other than using this technology, and then going to open mics and joining b-boy groups and whatnot. So
Yeah.
not a lot of b-boy groups, just one. But I ended up joining a group. I ended up joining spoken word groups. I ended up doing poetry groups. I was part of the hip hop club in high school. And then that transformed into college. I was actually part of the e-board of hip-hop there. So I was getting some artists in, and I was able to open up for a couple of them, and it was a way for me to consistently perform. But yeah, I was looking for a way to perform after that. But how I got into beatboxing, Scott just kind of introduced me to this thing, and then it blew my face off for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, and for people that have no idea what beatboxing is when they first see it, like, that's kind of the reaction. They're like, what?
Yeah.
You know? Like, but yeah, it was just magic to me. And I fell in love with the magic before anything else. And I just saw that there were so many things within beatboxing that I knew that I saw, and that was key to me, like at a very, very young age. Like, I saw it happening, and I'm like, no one's done this before. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get my feet wet in every experience that I could.
Yeah.
So I joined like a rock band. I joined like a bluegrass band. I joined a cappella groups.
Yeah.
I joined a Russian rock band at one point. I joined like, you know, hip hop spoken word groups and whatnot. I collaborated with like rappers, violinists, and I tried to just like diversify myself, because I knew that I had to like humble myself and be like, I can't just like be like, you know, a superstar and like whatever without experience. So I said, I'm going to look like an idiot forever. And I'm going to keep on looking like an idiot and keep on doing it, because, like, I knew immediately everyone's going to say no to me. Everyone's going to look at me like I was crazy, because I even looked at myself like I was crazy at first. I was like, yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing, but, like, I'm trying it.
Yeah. Do you have any videos of, like, you when you first started?
Spencer.
Oh, man.
Private on YouTube.
They're on somewhere, like, yeah, I don't want to tell people.
Archive.
But you do have some.
Did you go under any other names before? Or?
There it is, y'all.
Let's hear it.
Ding, 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 ding.
All right.
We have a
I used
wiener.
to go, man, I was just talking about this, too, with my girl today. But I went by D-O-K.
D-O-K?
D-O-K.
Like three letters.
That was my first name.
Three letters.
D-O-K.
D-O-K.
Yeah. And so I went by, D-O-K,
Doc.
and it meant doc. I wanted to be a doctor at first, like when I first started. So I was like, I'm be the beatboxing doctor. You know?
When your mom told you to be a doctor, you're like, yeah.
I am, Mom.
I
am a doctor. Did you see my name? Do you see my alias?
Do you not know that I'm already a doctor?
Do you see my four-finger ring? This is.
But seriously, I actually became DOK at one point in my life, and I told my parents I'm Doc. You know, I'm Doc, and I used to go to events and everything. But like, here's the thing. DOK, the reason why it wasn't DOC was because it meant depth of knowledge, and that was my name. I wanted to really, really get like rooted into how conversation, and this was really, really big with me all my life, like how language plays a part within beatboxing, how communication plays a part. Because it's crazy to me to think like whenever you talk to someone, like what you're hearing, what you're experiencing is vibration, right? And whether it be like music that you're playing at a high frequency, it can make you feel certain things. It can make you think certain things. And just like different inflections, different like tones can make you, you know, like can remind you of something or can bring you to another place. Whatever it is, I always thought of beatboxing as having a conversation with someone. So I thought it was a very, very intellectual thing. So I went from DOK. And then the next name I had was really corny, and I can't believe I'm sharing this right now. It was, so I'm Ecuadorian and Asian, and you know what's coming. I was Equation.
That's actually pretty dope.
Actually, I think I like it better than Doc.
I like it better than Spencer X.
Should I change back right now?
You should go back,
But
officially. And your logo is a equation. Just write yourself.
So Korean and Asian.
Man's playing to everything. Doc,
Equation.
I was like the half Asian beatboxer, pretty much. But yeah, so I was Equation for a little bit.
Can I call you that from now on?
How'd you spell it though?
Yeah.
EQ.
Well, here's the crazy thing about it.
EQ
So
is
it's
W-A-Z.
gonna blow your mind.
Accusation.
No, it's not it. Look, the how it went down
Equation.
was Ecuadorian Asian, but I also knew that Ecuador was part of the equator. So is way, and then Shun S.
And then Spencer X. Spencer X was after that.
So no, actually, I went to I went by Spencer Beatbox. After that, I had a lot of names, I guess.
Yeah, I see that.
And then,
Well, I hear that.
and then I went by my legal name, Spencer Polanco. And then after that, I actually went by Spencer Knight, after that. It was fucking crazy. Yeah, dude. I had a lot of names. I had like 4. I had like 4 names. I had 4 names.
Make some noise for Equation.
Up next, center stage, Spencer.
All right, y'all. All right. So after all of those names, I wanted to. I just felt like I wasn't actually like, paying homage to myself. I'm gonna throw something at you, Moy.
Just take it. Oh man, that's funny. Take it like a stripper.
I'm pretty much the.
He probably has more names he's not sharing with us.
No, those are all the names. I swear.
Right.
And then I wanted to pay homage to my middle name, which is Xavier, but in Spanish.
Was that your other name? Homage.
That's the funniest one so far. That was the funniest one so far.
I went by Oreo.
Up next, the beatboxing homage. It sounds like a cheese.
So that's where the X comes from.
So X came from Xavier.
Hey, can I get that homage
Fromage.
sandwich?
Yo! I knew you guys would be roasting me. but yeah, I stick to my middle name, which is Xavier, and yeah, it's Spencer X. That was it.
I like it.
I was gonna be Spencer
And
XXX, but I didn't
if
want
you
to
do a show
full,
with like
full
your
stripper.
yeah,
That's a stripper.
I was
That's a
about to say,
stripper
if
one.
you do a show with
Spencer
your shirt off,
XXX.
your shirt off and your pants on, it might be Spencer.
That's the one he liked. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Man, you're on your way to the top, bro.
I can't
You got
wait.
different avenues happening for
I'm
Top of the
yourself.
pole.
that Cardi B avenue. Shout out to Cardi B though.
Yeah, you're gonna do it in reverse though. She came from stripping into the game.
You're gonna get sued.
You're going from the game into stripping.
Yeah, I mean that's the end goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's guys.
Wow, we learned a lot.
We came full circle, all the way from the beginning, from New York.
Look, I'm glad that you guys support my vision and where I'm going.
We love equations.
Yeah.
Beatboxing strippers.
Yeah. We love
Well, I think it's
equations.
about that time we enter that.
It is that time of the show.
Where you
Alright.
at though? WYA.
Where you at though?
If you don't
Alright.
know, you finna find out. Step in front of our blue screen, our
Alright.
patent blue
You're
screen.
gonna have to guess.
Really?
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
Where you're at.
3 locations that may or may not be related to you,
Okay.
and we will do our best to give you awesome clues,
So
accurate clues,
I'm gonna do it.
straight on.
All right.
So MVP.
I look
You
straight.
look directly into that camera and you start to be in character.
Alright.
Alright.
We'll let you know. We'll do our best. We have some good clues.
Can't wait.
MVP, we're live with the first one. You can start with this first one, Moy.
Yeah, so this first one, man, it's a place you're familiar with, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's a place you're familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
You spent some time there. You spent some time
good
there.
amount of
I'm
time.
gonna beatbox there.
Yeah,
You have beatboxed.
you have
there.
beatboxed there before.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is it a stage? Something?
You have beatboxed there before.
Some people, it can be.
It's a very
metaphorically-
popular place.
Metaphorically, a stage.
Yeah, metaphorically it is. staged.
Metaphorically, it is a stage.
Anything could be a stage metaphorically.
Or
Yeah,
metaphorically.
exactly. So that's why it's a good clue.
There's
is
There's lights. There's lights
Yeah,
everywhere. There's lights everywhere.
There's lights there. All
Yeah.
right.
Very popular place.
Is it bright lights?
Bright
Bright
lights.
lights.
Super bright lights.
Super bright
Super
lights.
bright
All right.
lights.
Am I in a studio of some sort?
Metaphorically, it's
Metaphorically. Metaphorically
Is
speaking.
it a hospital?
I mean, it's a place you're very familiar with, Spencer. Damn it.
people are.
If you put me in a strip
It's-
club.
I learned something
not
about it.
familiar with
I learned
strip
something
clubs.
about it today. There's
people
a
either-
lot of people that go in and out of this place daily.
People either make it or break it here.
A lot
You
of
made it.
people
You
go
made-
in and out of this place daily,
Oh.
according to
In and out.
your knowledge.
Is it a In-N-Out Burger?
Wow.
Concrete jungle.
It's in New York.
I think we can chalk this up as he got it wrong.
Yeah.
Show him.
What was it?
Show him MVP.
Dude,
Oh! Can I grab one of the handles? Is this
but you were right though. Yeah, you're in the subway.
Yep.
You put,
Yeah.
that works. You were close. New York. You're in
Hey,
the subway, man.
You've taken subways all your life.
I have. All right, you guys got me.
All right.
Tell us
number
a
two.
little subway story real quick.
Yeah, go back to the subway.
Make it quick.
Craziest subway story.
Crazy subway.
Under a
story.
minute.
Under a minute.
Go.
I actually started performing on the subway before I performed in stages. And so I performed on the subway. I was busking at Union Square, and yeah, the cops came up to me and they were like, "You can't make loud noises here."
Loud noises.
And then I was fined.
All right, we're on
Number
to
two.
round 2 of where you at though.
Number 2.
All right.
All right, let us know MVP whenever you're ready. There was a grand prize if you got all 3 right of $1,000, but you got your first one's wrong.
Wow.
We didn't let him know that before. We should have.
I would just start saying places.
All right, number 2, we're live. This you're standing next to a person, a particular person,
Michelangelo.
like the painter or the Ninja Turtle.
Both.
Ding ding ding. No.
Stand next to a person. Okay.
An inspiration.
An inspiration.
Dr.
And-
Dre. Did I get it right?
No.
All right.
A pioneer in his
pi-
a
Igor
pioneer.
Moy.
A pioneer
A pioneer in his art form.
Okay.
in this particular art
In this
form.
particular art.
Roselle.
Yes,
Dang,
sir.
dang,
That
dang,
is it.
Yeah!
You're in-
Ooh, look at that.
You're in his arms, actually.
Take a picture with Roselle real quick. Take a picture.
Hey!
Hey,
What up?
Rozelle's one of the freshest, right?
Yeah, man. So shout out to Roselle, one of the realest
In the game.
in the game.
You're in his arms right now.
Yeah, man. We high five. High five.
Can you turn around and give him a kiss on the cheek?
I don't know if he'll appreciate that.
Thanks, Dad.
All right, last but not least.
All right.
This is a good one.
This is a really good one.
Yeah. I'll let you start with this one.
Oh man, this is tough. All right,
Give a good clue.
you probably go and get these a lot.
Yeah.
You probably go and get these a lot.
You like this place.
You like this place, right?
You spend a lot of time.
You go to a specific section of a place
Yeah.
to be in this area to gather
An aisle.
these items.
Water.
Um,
I love water.
not water.
It's an
But
aisle. It's an aisle.
You're on the right track.
Specific aisle.
Is it food?
There's a specific aisle.
Okay.
And I mean this is home to you. Like this is what you need.
No meat in sight.
Oh, a vegan store. I'm at the grocery store. I'm at the vegetable section.
Yes.
Yay!
So for everybody
That's
tuning
good.
in, my boy Spencer is a vegan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, vegan is an actual religion nowadays.
Yes.
Ooh, did
Yeah.
I just disappear? That was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got
So-
2 out of 3. Make some noise
That's
for
pretty
Spencer,
good, man.
everybody.
Shout out to yourself, bro.
Thank you guys.
That's pretty
Shout
good,
out to
man.
yourself, man.
I feel
That's awesome.
accomplished. 2 out of 3 is pretty good. I'll
That
take
was
it. I'll
pretty
take
good.
the win.
We were
Well,
trying to
I
put
did say New
you.
York, so I think I got the first one. But I'm gonna let it slide.
You-
We'll
Yeah.
review it. We'll
Yeah.
review it. We were trying to put you actually inside of a vegetable, but we couldn't find a picture. We wanted to put you in a
We wanted
poblano.
to put you inside a microphone.
And then I should
And
have
a
started
microphone.
beatboxing. We could have made that a meme.
Yeah.
We could have. We still can.
It's always possible.
Now we're gonna build in the future.
Yeah, there's a
what
lot
we're gonna
of
do.
great things coming, man.
Appreciate you coming and sharing your story, bro.
Thank you for having
Still
me.
being
for
written.
sure.
So
Is there, before we exit out, is there anything that you want to say for anybody that's tuning in, whether they're watching or listening? Is there any advice that you have? It could be very general. It could be about beatboxing.
for a
it could be
beatboxer,
about
for
anything.
an artist, for an young
Look
entrepreneur,
directly
for
right into the camera
Oreo cat.
and tell the world.
Oreo
What's
the
up?
cat. No, I'm kidding. Everyone, biggest piece of advice is just listen to your gut. Listen to yourself. Don't take no for an answer. Just accept the no's. Keep going, building your craft. Take your time, and love yourself. It's all in one. Just do good with the world.
And don't eat meat.
Don't need me.
Wait.
Unless that's your thing.
That's
But-
awesome.
Yeah,
Some
man.
sound, honorable advice.
But for sure, just work hard. That's it. Work hard and don't let anything stop you. It's the number 1 rule for the
That's
game.
the equation.
Wow!
Can you give me the dunks?
We pull.
Yeah, that's much
we
better.
pull clips from every episode, and that's definitely gonna be the clip that we pull and blast everywhere. Your origin story.
Yo, so thank you, man. Thank you for being on the show. You shared a lot. We learned a lot, and I'm hoping our viewers and anybody that's tuned in, whether it's listening or watching, that they've been able to learn more about you.
Yes, sir.
Where can they follow you?
You can find me at I am Spencer X on Instagram, and just look up Spencer X anywhere else, and you'll be able to find me there too.
Damn, it must be nice.
Wow.
You heard it from the man himself, Spencer X. Yo, we appreciate you, bro.
Shout out our sponsors, Monster Energy,
Much love.
Houston Media Source. Check out this quick commercial.
Monster Energy.
Oh, hold on. Monster.
There you go.
That's right. Check out this quick commercial before you dip. Houston Media Source. Much love, everyone. See you next week, Tuesday, 6 p.m.
Peace.
Have you ever wanted to have your own TV show? We can make that happen at Houston Media Source. When you walk in the door, all you need is an idea. We have everything you need: studios, cameras, lights, microphones, and more. All professional quality and state-of-the-art. Get started by attending one of our free orientation sessions every Monday at 6 p.m. at our studios at 410 Roberts near Minute Maid Park. Get more information online at hmstv.org. Make your voice heard with Houston Media Source.